All right, it's big. It's not the Jimbo, it's the Jumbo, the Yojimbo. Michael Janich design. I met with him at the 2020 SHOT Show at the Spyderco booth, and this was one of the knives that he introduced me to that's coming out in 2020, and here we are in 2020, getting on to the year, but it's out now, and I like it. I've had the regular Yojimbo and I passed mine on, so I don't have the one that I used to have, but I was definitely, longing to see this one and get this in hand, spend a little bit more time with it. Obviously, you can go right hand, left hand, tip up, tip down, carry, however you want to go with that. Very aggressive G10 here. Very aggressive. Be kind of interesting. They had some handle color choices, but a lot of times it seems like Spyderco kind of leaves that up to the aftermarket community. So I won't be surprised to see sets coming out for screws and for different types of scales, which that will be cool. I really like this knife. I was impressed with the Yojimbo when I had that. Very straight blade here, so a lot of cutting surface. Let's take a look at that. I mean, this is a big knife. This is a 9-inch knife. It's 9 1/4, even more than that, maybe 9.3 inches overall, 23.5, over 23.5 centimeters, and the cutting edge is right at about 4 inches, being 100 centimeters. Wow. I mean, that's just about, the full cutting edge right there. Okay, let's try with the blade stock. Let's see what we got. 3.66 millimeters. And where does that translate? 0.143 inches. 0.46 thick. So it's the same thickness as a paramilitary 2 at 11.75 millimeters. Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one. Wow. 9.3 inches overall. There's your compression lock. All right. Well, this one is centered up now, but I had to center that. For some reason, it wasn't centered. It was a bit off on one side. And I'm worried about that moving again, but let's see if this stays put. I had to kind of mess with the tension on some of the screws and this and that. So we'll see if this holds. I'm happy with it now, though. I wonder what they did when they made the Yojimbo larger, if they just made everything longer, because here's my situation. This area here, well, that's way too big for this finger, and it's too small for both fingers. So I'm on the hump. Okay? So when you start making a knife bigger just by making everything proportionally bigger, you may mess with the ergos. And I don't remember the Yojimbo being like this, as far as my second finger being on that hump. So, but now I forget because it's been gone for a while. It's livable here, but it's not what I would prefer. I could kind of squeeze up here, but I don't like that formation either. So it's almost to where I want to back up like this. And then I'm way back here behind the blade. So I kind of really want to be up here, but it's not quite ergonomically as comfortable as I'd like it to be. Let me try reverse grip. Actually, reverse grip is better because these fingers together are thinner and they can both sit in that choil together. So, yes, I can do this. And, of course, Janich being a martial arts person, and this knife And the Ronin fixed blade, Ronin 2 fixed blade might be to where that might been a main consideration for him in the self-defense mode with the knife. So, but I think this one has a lot of practical applications as well. Does that tip look too fragile? Well, I think if you use the knife as a cutting tool, no. But if you want to use it as a pry bar, no, that's not a good idea. I mean, just don't do it. You see what I'm saying? Is it sharp? Wow. Yeah, it's very sharp right out of the box. Comes in a Spyderco box. What's nice is that Michael Janich does do the, he's the one that puts this together for the knives that, not just this one, but all the knives that Spyderco puts out. He's the one that writes all this up. I like the way that Spyderco includes paperwork that specifically talks about the knife that's in the box instead of a bunch of generic stuff. Compression lock, drops, easy to Spidey flick out and close. This is very, very fidget friendly, very cool. I like that. This makes me wonder a little bit. See that blade stop at the top, and then you got a screw going in both sides of that. I've seen before where that can kind of play with the tension on the blade, how freely it swings. And I don't like the fact that you have a screw on each side that is individually adjustable, because then one can throw the other off. I would just as soon have just a normal blade stop like most knives do, where there is no exterior screw. It just sits in the liner, okay? That would be preferable, just like this, okay? Most knives are like this. There's no screws on the outside, nothing adjustable there. That would be fine. This is not. I don't know why they felt the need to do this, but there you go. Where's my balance point on this knife? Okay, it's fairly far forward, so that's not bad. Design flow. Yes, it flows right here, goes here. Where's the blade come out? Oh, right there. Okay, so I think we got all the blade and the handle that we need to do right there. So I like those two aspects. And I do like the compression lock, although, you know, this sits right down and it bumps you in the finger, because that little part right there comes up through the compression lock right there. So it'd be nice if there was just a little choil cut away there, and then that wouldn't hit you in the finger. That would be my preference, and I can live with it. You know, just get your finger out of the way in time as it drops. You can do that. You can get used to that. It's just like in the Shaman and others that are fitted with a compression lock. You always got a piece coming up. At least it's not like the Tropen where that's sharpened blade coming up. Put it on the scale, 151 grams. That's not that heavy for a knife that size. 5.33 ounces. So, no, not really bad considering the size. And fairly slender, so not really a pocket brick at all. In fact, I've carried this several times. Slides right in my pocket. I've even carried it when I was wearing, you know, shorts, just cargo shorts or something. And yeah, not a problem. And it would be a problem if it was 7 ounces and it was, you know, 0.65 thick and all that. Then it starts becoming a pocket brick, woggles around in your pocket. But this one doesn't. So I like that. You can have a big knife, but it doesn't feel like a big knife when it's in your pocket. Well, if you've ever done any disassembly on these, you'll find out that this main pivot screw here is a number 9. So this is how I'm gonna blast away at it. Just pull this off. And then the rest of these are number 8s. So we'll kick it out and do the number 8s on the rest of it. See if we can pull this apart. Here we go. Here's the outer scale, and let everything fall off. Those are the same size screws anyhow. And there's the inside of your G10 scale. And here you go. The scale's off. You got a bronze washer. There's your compression lock with the detemp ball, all that. Bronze washer again, and there's your pivot area. Definitely skeletonized liners. Nothing terribly complicated here at all. Put this back. Bronze washer. Got the liner back on. Throw the pivot back in here just to hold it in place. And there she is. She's off center. And that's the way I got it. That's the way it was when I got it out of the box. It's off center and it favors the presentation side. Okay, so it looks like I was just able to somehow position it back into center, which kind of freaks me out. How can you just do that? But I did, and the screws are tight on it. So, okay, it's centered for now. I guess I don't want to disassemble it or it goes back off center, and then I've got to position it back into center, and how it's going to hold center necessarily, I don't know. I'll find out over time. Back with the Yojimbo. Yeah, I do like it. It's slender in the pocket. It's not tiny this way, but it's slender this way, and it's light enough to be an EDC, but it's big enough to do a lot of different tasks. I'm going to let you go. The Yojimbo from Spyderco, because we love them knives, so you guys stay sharp.